All right, let's talk about Troy Ave. So remember a couple years back, May 2016, the shooting at Irving Plaza. So his friend and bodyguard Banga was shot and killed. Taxstone, host of the Tax Season podcast, of course, was indicted on murder charges and is currently locked up. Now Troy Ave has a new video called Too Legit to Quit. It's an animated video where he seems to recreate the shooting. And there's like a line where he's testifying in court. It's a little suspect. Let's take a look.
Down, turn you to a cold case. I do murder without a sound. I don't argue, no yelling. I do murders and don't get found. If they dead, then who tellin'? I'm only loyal to my fam. It's true. Middle finger from the stains. Either me or it's you. I will send her out to hell.
So in this, it seems to insinuate that he would testify against Taxstone. So where to start with Troy Ave? When he was doing press after Banga was murdered, people already thought it was a bad look. You know what I mean? His family was going through a lot. And now to put it in a video, I guess why? What do you think he's trying to do here?
I don't think this is a bad look in terms of Banga. And this is from me watching how he's moved. He showed, I think there was a little situation with him and Banga's family, but I think he's been very respectful to Banga. And by the way, we have to start these conversations by acknowledging that someone died.
Right.
Rest in peace, Banga, who was a close friend and bodyguard of Troy Ave. However, I think a lot of people, and this is why we're getting the conversations started because of videos like this. Ever since Troy Ave got arrested for attempted murder, ever since we saw the video of him busting his guns on camera, a lot of people have said that he's been outspoken through music on it. I think it's a real thin line between rap. You know, niggas love when people rapping the real shit.
Right.
But is it too real? Because
Exactly.
if he's rapping exactly what happened,
Right.
I mean, I'm watching the animated video. It shows the whatever, I don't know if it was a Corvette or whatever car he was driving when he got shot the second time.
The Christmas Day shooting, right?
It shows individuals playing off certain words. Taxstone, a beloved podcaster, like his slogan was "Be safe though," and I think he said "unsafe though." So it's clear. Again, he might be painting a picture of what happened through his music. Now, is that just him being real and just telling, his side of the story, or is that for other people just him saying too much? Again, I don't think it's really my place to speak. I just like for people to be consistent on everything.
Can I jump in? I want us to take our time with this. What about his lyrics? I'm only loyal to my fam, middle finger from the stand. It's either me or it's you.
Yeah, it's either me or you.
He's gonna get on the stand. He said it right there, and I believe him. In my opinion, this is a milestone for urban culture and rap music. He's gonna get on the stand, and he's gonna point out Taxstone with regards to the shooting.
We've seen people on the stand before. Maybe not pointing out type of shit. But
But he's gonna point him out. He just said it. He's not gonna go down for a decade over this. He's gonna do some time for discharging that firearm in the club, as we saw in Irving Plaza.
Right.
You can't shoot a fucking gun in New York City in a club and not do no time in jail. Now,
and also you're pursuing the person.
Exactly. Whether he shot into the crowd or his claims as he was pursuing the person who shot him. Either way, you discharged an illegal firearm into a crowd. So he's going to do some time, or maybe they might give him time served, or maybe they'll give him a certain amount of time off because he's cooperating. But he's going to take the stand. And he then came back with some post here.
So people were criticizing
snitching.
him and accusing him of being a snitch, and he was basically trying to defend himself, and it's just like, basically, look, you guys are out to get me. You laughed at me. You said I only sold 4,000 records. You said I shot myself and I killed my friend. Basically him saying, where is this quote? The other side is documented in court saying, it's Troy Ave. He's the bad guy. As for me, you can't snitch on videotape. You can't snitch on self-defense. Free Troy Ave. I'm innocent. I'm just curious even if he's going to testify, he did lose a friend, right? Do you think it's too much to put this in an animated video, Star?
No, he's laid it out exactly what he's going to do. I believe him. He's going to get up on that stand and try and take the pressure up off of himself.
Is that snitching?
I don't know, because by way of today's generation and standards, anything goes. I mean, everybody is exposing everybody. You have conversations with people, they're fucking screenshotting your conversations, they send the conversation to someone else.
Star.
No, give me a second. So I'm not sure what the parameters are anymore.
What are your parameters?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Let's
you're,
say not
you're from a
modern
different
time,
era
but yeah,
too.
exactly.
You're
Okay.
from a different
So
era
would-
where you came up
Okay,
different.
okay.
What
I
do
don't
you
do hypotheticals, number one. So I can't see myself in that situation. What would I do? Snitching used to be if you commit a crime together and someone gets caught and you tell on that individual or those people or a company, then you are indeed a snitch. But what he's going to do, in his own words, is he's only loyal to his fam. So it's a tough call. But I think I might be a little biased here on this one because I actually did reach out to Taxstone last year and I offered my services to take the stand to speak on his behalf because I think that he might be a victim, Taxstone.
In what way?
I think,
Were you going to point anyone out?
well, not necessarily point someone out, but I offered my services to speak on his behalf. I only met him one time. It was a couple of hours with regards to an interview. So I can't necessarily say I can be a character witness, but I can speak about what I think and what I know certain corporations, and I'll be even more specific, radio stations that amp this shit up, that magnify and intensify the bullshit.
So since you met him only one time, I'm curious, like, why you would go that far to help
I
him
think
out.
he might be a victim within this particular situation. I don't know
Just because
why.
of the way things are being reported, or because of what actually happened?
Yeah, why?
Well, again, I'm not 100% certain, but through my experience, there have been many situations where, being at a radio station, you promote certain things and you don't necessarily think about the consequences. I can tell you off the top, Hot 97 cried a whole lot of crocodile tears after Biggie got killed, but they were amping shit up back in the days. And having worked there, having reflected and seen all the bullshit that goes on, it's a machine. And I'm not saying Taxstone should walk away free, but at the same time, I don't know the particulars in his case. So again, I think I might be a little bit biased here, but Troy Ave is going to take the stand, as he already pointed out, and he's going to point Taxstone out. And I can only hope that Taxstone takes the stand to defend himself.
And I agree with that. I think, listen, my understanding of the case, and it's very muddied here, and again, this is where we start throwing around the word allegedly because we really don't know, and that will get proven in court. It feels like both of these men might have a case for self-defense. Right? Now, if we're talking self-defense, if you're just proving that you were defending yourself, whether it's taking a stand or cooperating, is that snitching? Again, I'm not a street dude, so I'm not going to say what snitching is. Again, I thought snitching was the same definition you gave. You and some cohorts, you were about to do a crime, and you get caught, and you give up the whole team, right? That was snitching. But if you got in an altercation with someone that you may view as an enemy, and you get locked up for possibly doing something to them, or they did something to you, and you tell the police, yeah, they did that to me.
Right.
I never knew that was snitching. But if it is, fuck it. Okay, again,
Right.
I think the rules and parameters now are different.
Very much so.
I do look at this, and I am very weary of the outside forces around it. Clearly, Troy Ave is indicating that he probably will take the stand.
Yeah.
And this is making news. By the way, and just to be 100% fair, there was news that came out months ago about Taxstone's lawyer filing motions where he wrote to the judge. And again, his lawyer wrote on behalf of him to the judge to say, hey, just keeping it real with you, Troy Ave's the bad guy. Again, I don't think it's my place to say which is snitching. These guys are fighting for their life. And I think we oftentimes, because we're judging the shit on social media, we start getting like really hell-bent on these street terms when these things are fighting for their lives. You get me?
I think
Troy
you and
Ave's
I
lawyer
agree on the fact that if one takes the stand, so should the other. Now, I think Taxstone is very much against taking the stand. I've heard him specify that in the past. And to be clear, he hasn't responded to my offer to testify on his behalf. That was just a DM I sent to him last year via Twitter DM. So he may not even take me up on that, but I did make the offer. You asked me about something last week about the rapper Game, who issued a threat upon me about a year or so ago. I forget when it was exactly. And if I can just go back for a second. No, I didn't file a lawsuit against him. I gave him a slap on the wrist because I'm a registered firearm carrier, again, and he issued a threat. So I had to let it be known if it comes down to something that, a threat was issued upon me. But I did file a lawsuit pro se against iHeartMedia. Do you know what pro se means?
Smart.
Pro se means you do all the paperwork yourself. You spend nothing. You spend maybe $300 for a fucking lawsuit. I did all the paperwork myself, and I dragged it out over a year. They spent, I'm sure, $3 million defending my claims, and I kept it going, and I kept it going. Why? Because I wanted them to keep my name out of the bullshit. Don't include me in the bullshit. I don't need to be relevant in a world of fucking bullshit and accusations and threats and drama. So that's another reason why.
Did they settle?
What's that?
Did they settle?
They left me the fuck alone. The judge said to me, get out of here, your case, I'm not gonna let your case go forward. But they spent a shitload of money. And I think they got the point because, again, I filed it pro se. And I'll file it again pro se if they try and put me in the bullshit. But the point is, they have a knack for doing that type of shit, these bigger platforms, because they program this music in the minds of the young people and through the, I don't want to be so specific, but through some of the channels, they act like this sort of behavior should be acceptable, and it's not. So, again, I hope that Tax Tone does defend himself by way of taking the stand, if Troy Ave does, and I think he will. And I think that it's going to get messy.
Right. Well, Tax is facing up to 20 years in prison. So we'll see how
Yeah, he
this
pleaded
goes.
guilty to the gun charges, yes?
Right.
He pled guilty to the federal gun charge, but now there's a second-degree murder charge, which is now in state court, which is New York court. I will say, and I'll keep going back to this, again, I think we do get lost in the fact that there's a lot of people who like Troy Ave as a musician, also like Tax Tone as a podcaster. Both people have their own fans, and they're public figures. They're beloved by whatever groups of people, but there's somebody who lost their lives here, and that's Banga. And I remember watching a Revolt documentary where his older brother and also his mom, they were desperately seeking for justice. So there's something that's gonna come out of this. I just hope people allow justice to take its course. And again, we could get it. It's gonna be stories about who's snitching, who's what. Again, we gotta see how it plays out in court. If both of these individuals are smart, you will operate just like how your lawyer is telling you, that you could beat the case, okay? Or at least you could get in the best situation for you to move on.
So if you were in that situation, Troy Ave's situation, I'm assuming you do hypotheticals, what would you do?
If I'm in Troy Ave's situation.
situation.
Now, let's be clear what Troy Ave's situation is.
Please.
Troy Ave is accused of attempted murder, right? He's facing like 20 years. And he could probably lessen that time or maybe validate why that charge is a no-go
Right.
by saying he did something to
Right.
me, right?
Which is cooperating.
I'm not no street nigga. So please don't hold me to no street. That's what I'm saying.
Come on.
I'm not no street nigga.
Yeah.
So if in that case, and I'm thinking in the way of self-defense,
Right.
if I defended myself, trust me, I will be letting the police, the court, and everybody else know I defended myself. I'm not gonna be like, why the fuck would I? Again, why the fuck would I go to court and just be like, just the guy who was trying to kill me? I'm not gonna say nothing against.
Right.
That's just me. However, I haven't made a career of promoting and basically saying I embody a gangster.
Right.
That's different. Troy Ave has. Troy Ave has said he is the guy, the super tough guy about that life. Now, shit, his music career hangs in the balance if he does that.
Do you think that Troy Ave is going to try to link Tax Tone to the shooting on Christmas
Day, yeah.
Christmas Day when he got shot in the car as well?
I don't know, but I do think more.
Well, hang on. If he wants to get the charges reduced and to not go back to jail, that may be something that they're in seek of as well. Who shot you? Tell us who shot you. Tell us who you think shot you. He's going to have to cooperate.
Hey,
What do you think about that?
listen, that's for him to deal with. That's for him to deal with. Again,
But-
it's for him to figure out his own morality. I always say this: when a rapper tells me he a gangster, I believe it until somebody proves otherwise. Right? So if you've been rapping about you all about that life, and now you're in that position, now we get to see what it is. Again, I don't give a fuck about, like, I'm not no guy who listens to Troy Ave's music and say, oh, this is some super tough guy. I listen to it because it sounds hot, right? Now, there's gangsters who really may look at him a certain way and hold him to certain rules. That's just not me, okay? And whatever he does in his case, I'm guessing it will define his character to the rest of the people.
Right.
But I'm thinking, because I'm a law-abiding citizen, it's not about that life.
Yeah. Taxpayer.
Right? I'm a 6 figures when they tax me. Trust me. When
But he's broke, right?
I am broke.
Right, right.
No, I'm super broke. Stop
Okay,
that.
yeah,
Always
sorry, my
crying,
bad,
bro.
my bad.
But still, I gotta imagine if I'm in that situation, I'm doing whatever to make sure I get out of that situation.
Okay.
Final question here. All right, so former drug kingpin Alpo is now home. You familiar with this?
Yes.
You saw the video? Okay. People want to see him. The fucking clicks on the video already are going through the roof. I mean, we are fascinated with the dumb shit. So do you think that Troy Ave already understands that people will be accepting, A, and B, forgiving of him taking the stand?
Troy Ave was never a beloved figure, period.
Right.
And I'm not saying Alpo was either. But shit, Alpo has been almost like,
Made into a legend.
yeah, he's been made into a legend through movies, stories, and all these other things. Troy Ave, no. Like, honestly, this is the, like, sticking the knife in.
Right.
Okay.
This is why his Instagram post, that long thing defending himself, he knows that people like to clown him, so why even do this? He has to have known that people were going to react this way.
My only thing with how he's moving is this, right? And I'm guessing his mind was made up from day one because through his music, he's released, like, extended outros where he's just speaking very freely on what happened. He tells you the story. He does everything basically other than say, oh, it was me, so-and-so, and so-and-so, and so-and-so. So-and-so did this. And so again, he's putting it out there. So I'm guessing he's already came to acceptance with what will happen if he indeed has to take the stand. So
Okay.
I don't think we're like feeling bad for somebody who doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
This
Yeah.
feels calculated.
I'm sure there's
it's a fucking
more.
animated video,
Right,
and he's
right.
like, he's
There's more
pointing
coming,
niggas out
I'm
in the video.
sure. It's a lot.